Today's topic is what actually makes software an agent. This is for our series on AI cloud architecture. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. AI agents sit in the decision layer of AI cloud architecture. An agent is software that repeatedly senses state, chooses an action, and acts until a goal is met or a bound is hit. That agent loop, not a chatbot UI or a single model call, separates agents from scripts and plain completions. The full cycle is perceive, decide, act, and observe. Sensing is the goal, history, tool results, and constraints you put in context. Choosing is the model picking the next move. It can be a tool call, a human ask, or a final answer. Acting runs that tool. Observing feeds the result back so the next turn is grounded in reality. Without that definition, teams use fixed pipelines with agent branding and misalign eval, cost and risk. A one-shot prompt that returns text is a completion, even when the prose is excellent. A fixed sequence that always searches, then summarizes, then emails is only a workflow or chain. What decides the next step? An agent decides which step to take next based on what just happened. That decision usually lives inside a loop with an explicit stop condition. If you can draw a reliable flowchart of every step, you usually want a workflow engine, not free-form agency. Tool use, often called function calling, is how an agent reaches outside pure text. Tool schemas define the action space. They hold names, argument types, and descriptions the model uses to choose correctly. Bad descriptions produce wrong tool selection the same way bad APIs produce wrong client code. You'll see this, for example, in Amazon Bedrock Agent Core tool wiring, Microsoft Foundry Agent Service function calling, and Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform AI tool declarations on Google Cloud. Agent Core Harness can own the full orchestration loop for you. It covers model, tools, memory, and recovery in an isolated session. MCP is the Model Context Protocol under the Agentic AI Foundation at the Linux Foundation. It exposes one tool server to many runtimes. The 2026 July MCP spec adds multi-round trip tool requests. That lets the loop complete multi-step work over a stable protocol. Schemas aren't decoration. They're the legal vocabulary for side effects. Without feeding tool results back into context, you only have structured output, not agency. Each observation becomes the next sense input. Then the model can recover, replan, or stop. Where do failures compound? Failures compound here. A wrong search result can send the next turn down the wrong path. Logging the full trace matters more than logging the final answer alone. Trace every model turn, tool call, and observation when you debug production runs. OpenTelemetry GenAI semantic conventions now standardize spans for model calls, tool calls, and agent orchestration. That loop is not a black box. Autonomy is a spectrum, not a Boolean switch you flip once. A system can be agentic for one subtask, such as picking among 3 APIs, and fully scripted elsewhere. What makes the label useful is that control over the next action has moved into the model's decision. Your runtime still constrains tools, budgets, and stopping rules. Bounded agency keeps the model inside a short allow list or one state of a plan and execute pipeline. That still counts as agentic where it matters, while the blast radius stays small. Learn more at systemsarchitect.io. Like and subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist. The model doesn't inherently know when to stop exploring. Your host process must enforce max iterations, token or dollar budgets, idle timeouts, and goal completion checks. A tiny loop that returns when the model says done or after max turns is the skeleton of every production agent. Platforms such as Amazon Bedrock Agent Core now ship policy controls and quality evaluators for tool selection. They still rest on those hard stop rules. Production systems add retries, parallel tools, human approval, and durable state on top of that same skeleton. Why do hard stops matter so much? Without a hard stop, an agent is a subscription you forgot to cancel. Retries and parallel tools still need a hard ceiling. A chatbot optimizes for conversational replies. An agent optimizes for goal completion through actions. A copilot keeps a human in the decision seat and uses the model as assistance. Multi-agent systems don't change the definition. They compose several loops with handoffs, shared memory, or an orchestrator. Each specialist is still an agent if it can decide and act within its scope. LangGraph, Crew AI, Google's Agent Development Kit, and the OpenAI Agents SDK each model those handoffs differently. The OpenAI SDK ships a built-in agent loop that runs tools until the task finishes or pauses for approval. The Linux Foundation Agent-to-Agent Protocol, or A2A, now has production footing across AWS Agent Core, Microsoft Foundry, and Google Cloud. Specialists can discover and pass work across clouds. The model is the decision component, not the whole agent. The agent is the system: model, tools, loop, memory, and guardrails. Short tasks can run from the current context window alone. Memory matters when work spans sessions or long horizons. Retrieval augmented generation is often a tool inside the loop. Plain retrieve then generate with no branching is a pipeline. When the model decides whether to retrieve or answer, you've got Agentic RAG. Shell and payment tools make a policy engine with side effects, not a chatbot with plugins. Clear agency improves reliability on multi-hop work because the system can recover from empty results and wrong first guesses. Operations get cheaper when you measure task success, cost per success, and stop condition hits instead of only answer quality. Security posture improves when you treat tools as privileges. Use least privilege, argument validation, and human gates on irreversible actions. Cost control follows once budgets and max turns live next to the loop rather than in a weekly bill surprise. Don't reach for a free-form agent when every step is known and stable. A fixed script or pipeline is cheaper, faster, and easier to test for known sequences with rare surprises. A single-turn tool call is enough when one lookup or one action finishes the request. Human-in-the-loop copilots stay the better fit for high-stakes work where a wrong side effect is expensive. Extra autonomy often reduces reliability. Match freedom to task risk and how mature your eval suite is. An AI agent is a system that loops through perceive, decide, act, and observe under tools, budgets, and stop rules you own. Workflows and chatbots use models too, but only agents choose the next action from intermediate results inside that loop. Only agents choose the next action from intermediate results. That loop under tools, budgets, and stop rules is the real definition. Build agency where the path must branch, and keep scripts and copilots where determinism or human control still wins. Thanks for watching and listening to this, and subscribe to the channel. Find a lot more articles and guides on both systemsarchitect.io and codeguides.io.